I'm Suzy Orr, and Unique Ladies is a group of networks that I run through the northwest of England, and we started running them 3 years ago, really as a hobby. I wanted to do something after having 30 odd years in corporate telecoms and IT. I was meant to be taking my foot off the accelerator, and I didn't. I ended up opening another branch of Window World, which is our family business, UPVC double glazing company. But I was missing the networking element, which I'd done for a long time. So a chance coffee with a friend and a couple of remarks, and I decided I would start a women's business network, and it was going to be something that took the best of all the networks that I'd been to over many years and removed the worst of all the networks. So Unique Ladies is a free membership, so any ladies that come and they're already a member. They pay just £20, pay as they go, so if they don't come to any event, they don't have to pay. And as I said, they've been going 3 years now. We run them in Bolton, Preston, Manchester and Liverpool, and we've got new ones launching in Stockport and Bury in September. And I've recently taken it to a franchise model, which is quite exciting because I've got enquiries from further afield now: Newcastle, Chester, Lancaster. The format of the group is always the same. So the ladies that come are women in business that are welcomed. We don't have people just hanging around feeling uncomfortable. We welcome everybody in. We always have an inspirational lady speaker that come from all sorts of different walks of life with great stories. We do round the table networking. There's a bit of thought goes into who sits where, so we always do a table plan so that people who I think will make good connections sit with each other. And yeah, it's a fun way to network. On the back of the networking, we get involved with different charity events, charity lunches, dinners, things like that, and do quite a lot of fundraising. Okay, so the reason I wanted to do something for women in particular was because I'd worked for 30 odd years in a very male dominated industry in IT and telecoms, and I've networked for a long time in that industry, and women are still a minority. And we have to fight every time. So when we go to a network, as a woman, if you go to a network, there's lots of men usually, booted and suited, and men tend to network very differently. They tend to talk at you, they try and sell things, and it's not what we do. We do it in a different way. We get to know each other. It's not about bashing men or anything like that. It's about embracing the difference because we're different. The reason I called it unique was I think everybody, men or women, are unique people. Individuals have their own unique. We're all unique in lots of different ways. I was approaching 50 and I've been in this corporate environment for a long time, and I think you get, I don't know if I turned into a grumpy old woman or I got older and wiser and decided I didn't want to give more of myself to corporate, which is why I started another branch of our family business. But I missed the networking, and I really felt quite strongly that women needed a platform. So initially, the day that I launched the network, even though I had people booked on and we had sort of almost 50 people, I think, in the room at the first one, I was still very nervous, and I was more nervous about standing up and actually welcoming people, and which I do regularly now without having a thought for it. It was about going out of my comfort zone. But funnily enough, going out of my comfort zone was something that has been the best experience, and I constantly will keep doing this, and I advise everybody to go out of the comfort zone because you can only grow by doing that. Okay, so as a business owner and as someone who might be thinking about starting a business, networking is key, I think. It's about meeting like-minded people that have their own businesses and actually getting to know them, getting to know how they tick, It's about listening to what people need in everyday life and in a business life. And it's about working with them, encouraging them and empowering them so as you're growing your business, you're taking people with you, they're growing theirs. And I'm finding that quite often I'll have ladies that come in that are new to business, that are quite nervous. But the more they network, the more comfortable they become in the environment. Initially, just around a table of sort of 6 people. But our networks very much give these ladies an opportunity to stand up and do a 10-minute pitch or a 30-minute inspirational speaker section as well. So it's about really getting to know people and about listening and about encouraging them to make changes and to run the businesses. Last year, 2017, I don't know who nominated me, but I was nominated as Networker of the Year at the Liverpool Lifestyle Awards, which in itself was fantastic. So to be nominated was amazing. And then to actually go to a great awards ceremony, which is an annual, very prestigious award in Liverpool, a very prestigious award ceremony in Liverpool, was great. And at the point they were announcing the Networker of the Year, I didn't actually hear my own name. It was, I think in my mind, I got to where I wanted. I was so proud of being nominated and being there, but I won. And I was, doing a bit of a woohoo. That encouraged me to do a Unique Ladies Network Award, which I presented at our Christmas event. It was so nice to just give somebody something and know that they were experiencing what I'd experienced. And then at the back end of 2017, I was nominated again for the same award at Liverpool Lifestyle Awards. So it was quite recently we went over to the awards ceremony. I was convinced that I wouldn't do it 2 years in a run, and they announced I knew the top 5, I knew who the competition was, and there was some great competition. And when they announced the 3rd, I was surprised that they'd come 3rd, and the same with the 2nd. And then again, the winner was Suzy Orr. So I was absolutely delighted, and I think there's nothing better than being recognised for doing something that you love. And networking for me is something that, for me personally, comes so naturally. It's just common sense to listen to people and to be nice to people and to chat to people, and to turn that into a business that's helping other people is brilliant. We might have ladies that are just starting off in business, but we've got CEOs of companies that actually feel a little bit alienated because they're at the top of their game. But what we find is common ground within the groups and with the speakers that we get as well. So I think if those ladies who are a little bit nervous come along and feel encouraged to make that phone call that they perhaps weren't going to make, or take that step that they thought they'd never do, or stand up and do a 10-minute pitch on their business that they at one time would have never dreamt of doing, that to me is what it's all about, really. It's encouraging these women to get up there and to believe in themselves and know that they can do it. Challenges. When I first announced that I was going to do a women's only network, I had quite a few women saying, yeah, no, that's not what you do. We fought hard to get equal rights and you shouldn't be doing that. And I think there's only one of those women that haven't been to an event and said how great they are, because certainly the other ones that have now been and had a look understand the reason that I'm doing it, and it's not to take women back, it's to give women a platform to take them into the future. That they were probably the biggest challenges, why are you doing it just for women? And actually I've had a lot of men, because I network with a lot of men, and I have done a couple of unique networks that were mixed networks that have been very successful. So I do get quite a few men saying, when are you doing the next one? And I'd like to do, but I've only got sort of one pair of hands. I can't do everything. So the mixed ones are have been sort of left by the wayside. I've learned that we're all on a journey, and I think the most important thing is to be kind, and being kind. Kindness is words that people don't use very often. But you don't know what journey someone's on. You don't know what's happened that morning or what's happening that evening in their own personal business life. So be kind to people. I think that's my motto. Just be kind. And I think we touched on it earlier. Don't judge people, because you don't know. Just go with the flow. Just accept people. Be kind, listen, know that you can do things. So I can still remember the butterflies in my tummy when I first stood up at the first Unique Ladies, and probably the second one as well, but by the third one they'd gone, and I don't see them anymore at all. And it's interesting, on the back of what I've done, I'm actually speaking at an event for Deloitte in Manchester in a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, because someone's seen my journey and wants me to talk to a bunch of directors, female directors, to let them know that there's life after corporate, and you can do this, and you can have, if you have a can-do attitude, you can do anything. You really can. I think the other thing that I didn't know before I started doing the network is just how many friends I would make, and how many charities that we'd end up working with. And I think each of the groups have at least a couple of charities that come along. And the more you give to these people, and I don't mean financially, I just mean in terms of time and help and connections, the more you get back, and it's such a satisfying thing that I would implore anybody that isn't involved with a charity to get involved with a charity. I just think they make a huge difference, and like I said, it's not a financial thing, but just by listening, talking, maybe a bit of time, you can make an awful lot of difference to people. So for me, the definition of success is being happy with what I've done. So for me, having a room full of women and actually seeing someone that maybe 3 or 4 months ago was very timid, wasn't going to do anything, really scared about doing something, that come in and say, I've got this contract, or I've just done this, or I'm going to stand up, can I come and present at your network because I've got the confidence to do it now. That to me is success.